Berserk is easily one of the greatest manga of all time, with a sterling legacy of quality artwork from the covers to the jaw-dropping two-page spreads. Kentaro Miura's intricate artwork matured over the decades of his career and even beyond his tragic passing in 2021. Legions of Berserk fans attest to the uncompromising visual detail, depicting a dark fantasy world collapsing under the actions of its characters. Its influence has appeared in other manga, anime, video games, and more, immortalizing the legendary mangaka and his work. With controversial themes and a mature seinen plot creating a story craved by millions of readers, it's unsurprising how much Guts' journey has resonated with the readers. Comparing individual achievements and moments against one another feels disingenuous. Still, this list is a celebration of Miura's work, with the best volume covers of Berserk as a common topic. But before we begin, here's a spoiler warning from this point forward for Kentaro Miura's Berserk. Number 10. An ethereal glimpse at Guts' earliest adversaries in Volume 11. By the time of Berserk Volume 11, pivotal events like Griffith seducing Princess Charlotte had crossed the point of no return for his first play at acquiring a kingdom. By this point in the series, the terror of the Apostles began to rear their aberrant heads, such as recently with Rosine and with Wild soon to feature. Volume 11 is a retrospective of the Apostles' Guts faced, such as in the Black Swordsman arc, along with a nice callback to his prototype design with the traditional crossbow. Sadly, this image has no eye patch or vampire hunting features, so the throwbacks end there. Volume 11 is one of the best covers in Berserk due to its gorgeous showcase of the Apostles' Guts faced, including Rosine, whose design influenced the Moonlight Butterfly boss from Dark Souls. Also featured are Nosferatu Zod and Black Swordsman arc adversaries like the Snake Lord from Chapter 1, and the Count from that same arc. Berserk has no shortage of deadly apostles. These enemies are a mere taste of the enemies to grace future covers. Number 9. Volume 7's cover offers a tragic rendition of the Golden Age arc. By Volume 7 of Berserk, readers may guess that Guts and Casca end up together as one of the most famous couples in manga. The two confide in one another in a way not quite seen among the rest of the Band of the Hawk, even between Guts and Griffith. This Berserk image is also one of the most tragic covers for those who read further, because it eerily hides what terrors the pair eventually experience. Regarding the artwork, it's a much simpler illustration than almost any of the other Berserk volume covers. It portrays an eerily romanticized portrayal of Guts, a massive sword slung behind his back, and Casca posed cheekily behind his back, evoking a pulpy sword and sorcery aesthetic. It's a shame this feeling never lasts or ever really existed for the pair save for a few comedic moments like in Chapter 22. Number 8. Griffith sheds all humanity and vulnerability like a cocoon. The pivotal events of the Golden Age arc are likened to a twisted Greek tragedy for superficial reasons. Guts is an inherently tormented, flawed antihero born ominously from his mother's hanged corpse. There are surprising moments of reverie like Chapter 30. Cosmic beings grace the plot and interact with the human cast, and crucially, a harrowing betrayal by Guts' closest ally. This ally, the infamous Griffith, was the idealistic leader of his mercenary group, the Band of the Hawk, but his god complex and failure to properly cope with his trauma led to this moment where he shed his former self. After seducing Charlotte, Griffith was made public enemy number 1 for Midland and its lecherous king. Griffith was captured, tortured, and mutilated to the point where his tendons were severed, and his tongue was removed, making him vulnerable to temptation by demons. This leads to him being made the newest member of the God Hand, a syndicate of cosmic-scale dark angels serving the idea of evil, where he is dubbed Femto, after which he carries out the most infamous event of the series. Number 7. Volume 28 features Guts in Berserker armor channeling Batman vibes. The Berserker armor may be obnoxiously on the nose, but its cursed gimmicks fit perfectly in Berserk lore, hinting at a fascinating connection to the mysterious Skull Knight. It's a horrifying concept that drives the Berserker idea to its extremes, as a suit of armor that binds itself to its wearer, connecting wounded and broken bones and tissue until the last drop of blood is spilled. This creates a point of anxiety for Guts, as he must prevent himself from falling into the rage that sets this power loose, as it does not discriminate between friend or foe. The pose itself has Batman vibes, but it's also one of the most beloved covers from the vast gallery of Berserk's other artwork. It matches Guts' brooding tendencies while also being visually appealing and simple. It also hints at menacing traits of Guts' worst qualities. A ravenous wolf out for blood and other depraved acts, struggling to break free but held at bay by his humanity and supporting friends. Number 6. Berserk Volume 38 is another one of the most iconic manga covers of all time. Berserk Volume 38 is still relatively new in the grand scheme of the series, yet it enjoys a ubiquitous position among the fandom. It showcases Guts' physical development, a muscular dark fantasy hero wielding a 300-pound sword like it's nothing. Yet, it also shows how vulnerable he is, from his glancing arm wounds to bandages commonly wound around his torso to his disfigured eye and Thomas More-esque patch of white hair. Guts has been through a lot and isn't showing signs of quitting. This is so familiar thanks to famous social media personalities like Manga Magura on X or Twitter, using this image frequently to announce leaks or updates on upcoming chapters. It's not quite to a point where fans see this image burned into their grilled cheese, but it's a solid depiction of the protagonist. Guts may look menacing on this cover, but he has softened dramatically since the Black Swordsman party started growing. Number 5. Berserk Volume 18 depicts Guts' most persistent enemies. While the events depicted in Berserk Volume 18 involve the Conviction arc and Mozgus more than the cover may suggest, this is an undeniably excellent rendition of Guts' greatest foes. Zod is imposing in his beastly released form, while Griffith's fallen angel aesthetic creates a feathery backdrop as the pair are locked in combat. An extraordinary amount of detail is given to Puck, Guts' most energetic and long-serving ally, a manga-style rendition of the Midsummer Night's Dream Fae Servant, which Berserk fans can appreciate. This cover benefits from the juxtaposed blood and feathers and undeniably gorgeous attention to detail. The posing of the characters is near perfect, and Guts' stance and physique indicate the heft of his sword. What's truly terrifying is that Zod, the demonic beast he's fighting, is a mere servant to Griffith. Number 4. Guts is not alone, and neither are his enemies. The Troll Cave story in Berserk is one of the most uncomfortable and troubling experiences for readers, but it produced one of the best covers for the series. Trolls, in this case, are astral world creatures manifested among humans in what turns out to be a watershed moment for Guts and his party as they learn how these creatures born from fear terrorize a nearby village. The events of this arc are shocking, but also introduce fan-favorite moments, like when Sir Pico gains the Sylph Sword and Isidro's Salamander Dagger as granted by their new teammate, Skierk. The cover is one of Miura's more abstract pieces, with the trolls coated in a deep red hue, Farnese bravely putting herself between her threats and Casca, and Guts brandishing his sword. While other characters feature, Skierk's presence is the most striking of all. He is a pivotal character whose protection becomes vital from this point onward, including keeping Guts and Casca's mark of sacrifice at bay. Teamwork makes the dream work, even if they occasionally fight back against nightmares when they become real. Number 3. Guts encounters Elfhelm in Berserk Volume 39. Trading the abstract or superimposed for a realistic image boasting depth, Berserk Volume 39 is breathtaking. Guts, the infamous Black Swordsman, is flanked by gorgeous and lush greenery and an impressive array of fantasy creatures. From unicorns to fey creatures, this realm is a feast for the eyes. However, it's not long for this world. Readers don't mention the incredible scenery in this arc often enough, as the Cherry Tree Palace is among the best-looking panels depicting original Berserk scenery. This is also one of the last volumes of the series before Miura's death, so it's a bittersweet sight. Like many other Berserk locations, this beautiful haven will soon be consumed by calamity. Number 2. The Black Swordsman surrounded by demons, legions of foes, and his North Star. Guts is the series' star, yet he's surrounded by various influences in this bespoke cover for Volume 23 of Berserk. On the right is his inner wolf, the symbolic raging beast that symbolizes his worst instincts should the Berserker armor consume him. Above Guts is the silhouetted bastardization of the Band of the Hawk, with clear indicators like Grunbeld and Locus' elaborate helms. Finally, on the left is Casca, with her blatant nudity on the cover invoking a feeling of vulnerability. The past is gone, with Guts' old party almost completely massacred, but he still struggles and does everything he can for her. And at number 1, two profane souls trade humanity for immense power. Featured on a cover that belongs in a museum gallery, Griffith appears as the nefarious Femto, with the massive figure of Zod behind him. There's plenty to adore about this cover, including the intricate details of Femto's superhero-like physique and his cowl being his way of reclaiming his hawk-shaped helmet instead of the insulting one fashioned for him in prison. His face is shrouded in black, along with his sense of humanity in Berserk. Zod, despite being the most beastly presence in the series, only serves as a backdrop for Griffith's new power. The poignant nature of this cover is evident, but the little abstract details are also excellent. There's a maleficent gradient of blues and reds from top to bottom, with Griffith standing effortlessly atop wailing and gnashing abyssal creatures, an appropriate image in this volume. It's here that Griffith and Zod confront Ganishka at the climax of the Hawk of the Millennium Empire arc. From more than 40 volumes of Berserk, Volume 34 stands above the best with its portrayal of the series' antagonist. So, that's our list of the most incredible Berserk covers. What did you think? Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below telling us which volume of Berserk is your favorite and why. Your feedback is important to us. Until the next video, and stay geek.